I was actually going to film it, but what is actually going on?
So
on the beach?
what happens is with the erosion from the stores and just regular weather, the beach disappears.
Right.
It also, from the rivers and the inlet, the sand goes back and forth, so it starts filling the waterways, the channels for the boating.
Okay.
So we're contracted to dig the sand out of that boating area.
So where is the boating area like?
The inlet, from the inlet over all of that water,
Okay.
so right over in there, so you've got the outer perimeters,
Right,
you've got
let me go like this. Okay.
seagrass,
Okay.
and then you've got the channel where it's authorized boats to go up and down.
Right.
So we come in the channel, we set up our dredge, and then it's a hydraulic dredge, so basically like a glorified vacuum cleaner.
Right.
And that sucks up the sand, shoots it down the pipe, underwater, comes up over the jetty, and then down the beach to where you're going to go see it. But right now we're stopped. We're doing some maintenance.
Okay.
But when you see the next time with the water shooting up,
Yeah.
that's coming from the channel there.
So it's not actually coming from anywhere else. Like we're not bringing sand in from anywhere.
No, we're using the sand that we already have.
And so here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
With all this erosion that's happening,
Yeah.
like what is the there's just like they're saying that the limestone underneath Florida is actually deteriorating and it's causing these systems to happen.
No, that's the sinkhole effect. So what you have is there's an underwater aquifer. So basically the limestone is the ancient coral. So when as you know the plate shifted and Florida grew, you have underwater aquifers, so that they run through what would look like, the old type of sponges with the big holes. If you cut it, there's...
Yes.
Okay, so that's what Florida is.
Right.
So now a sinkhole is when the water dissipates so much in that area because of overusage and high, populated areas, and then it could cave in. So that is a sinkhole. And sometimes they'll just fill back up with water. Sometimes they just an indent in the land. So we don't have that problem here. Okay. Now, another unique thing about Florida is as the underwater aquifer is coming down all along the coast areas, it actually, normally like this is a river to the inlet. Okay. Well, there's underwater rivers that come out in the ocean. And they're normally just a big giant hole, and that fresh water is coming out back into the ocean.
Where does that happen?
That's all along the coast. When you go home, do a Google search for that.
For the rivers going into the
Florida
ocean.
aquifer coming up, you'll get the whole rundown on that. Now, the second phase of this beach erosion thing that we're doing is the beach erosion affects all the wildlife. So the seabirds that come here that are on the endangered or close to being, I don't remember the right word for it.
Yeah.
But so we have two main seabirds, shorebirds that come down to this area and breed. And so we're concerned with them, it's the government. And then the same thing is there's two types of sea turtles that come on these beaches and lay their eggs. So when these beaches deteriorate to such a point that it affects that natural flow of things.
Which are the sea turtles?
The sea turtles, we have a loggerhead sea turtle, and we have the super big one is a leatherback.
The leatherback. I saw one of those once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Monsters, aren't
it was
they?
giving birth. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you've seen here on Jupiter Beach where sometimes it looks like a cliff.
Yeah.
The beach will come down to the water's edge and just drop down 3 or 4 feet.
Yes.
Okay, well, turtles don't really appreciate that.
Neither did I, because I'm like, now we got to jump down the cliff. Like
Exactly.
it's 10 foot. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yes.
That's a concern. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
so we're going to fix all of that. So that will be taken care of. You'll still have that a little bit because of the Atlantic. It's very aggressive and the weather. But at this point, when we're done, the turtles won't have to go down, hundreds and hundreds of yards to try to find an area that's sloped. Everything will have a slope that they could deal with.
Right.
So they could go up over a little hump, but climbing up 3 foot is very stressful. And the thing with these turtles is they're not really inclined to try to go to someplace different than their internal navigation system is sending them. So if they come up on the beach, that area, theoretically they were birthed in that area.
Yeah.
So they're not inclined to want to go to the left or to the right, and some of these turtles could become distressed trying to get up to that big height.
Right.
So we're protecting that, keeping the waterways and protecting the coastline.
That's interesting because I was really concerned about these cliffs that were forming, and I'm like, I don't know if this is good. Like,
Yeah.
this looks like we're losing, the beach,
Yeah.
and I was just like, how does all of it work? So I am very appreciative of running into you today. What's your name?
I'm Kevin.
Kevin. I'm Angel.
Angel, nice to meet you.
Yeah, so I was just going to go film this, and it's nice that people could actually know what's happening.
Yeah.
Because I was getting real concerned because they keep putting this stuff on that we are, we're having sinkholes and everything. And if you go down to number 18,
Yeah.
where right across from the loggerhead, right across from...
Oh, for the research center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see there's a drain coming out and a big, huge pool of water, on the beach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? I'm just getting concerned because of
Yeah.
all the information that's out there. And it's nice to hear what's really
Yeah.
going on.
Now, the Jupiter Inlet, they have there, when you come up this way, there's a pink sign, and you get a shot of that, and then you could go onto that website, and then they will give you more information. But they're, the state is concerned, the county is concerned, and the city, and they're all participating in getting this project underway.
Nice. All right.
So your tax money at work.
Yeah. Well, how much does that come to in tax money to do that?
Truthfully, that's out of my league. I'm just quality manager with the project, but it's not a cheap project, and it's not a super expensive project.
Because it goes on for a while. So
It goes on for a while. Then then they'll go to other places. This is happening all through the United States to maintain these habitats and these waterways.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Well, we're definitely like a main cuisine because we got the turtles. And
Yes.
everywhere else doesn't really have the turtles. Are the birds the sand cranes by any chance? Or
No, one of them is called a rufous red knot, and the other is...
I don't even know if I ever saw one of them.
No, you wouldn't really. I don't remember the name of the other one, but it's in the sandpiper family.
Oh,
but
yeah.
because these are migratory birds, so like the rufous red knot, they actually spend most of their time in the Arctic Circle. And
Wow.
then when the winter comes up there, then they shoot down, and they'll go as far down as to South America. And so they have places along that is their historic and natural nesting areas.
Their
We
habitats,
happen to be
yeah.
one of them.
Well, it's good to know that
Leave this down because it's
it's
windy.
going to come down again anyway.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
The wind's going to kick up in a minute.
Yeah.
Go flying around. Oh, no, that's really interesting. So do you know anything about the limestone underneath Jupiter and how that is?
No, it's pretty much the same as all of Florida. It's not really a big thing. It happens, it's
Yeah.
a natural occurring thing. It's the only time that humans seem to affect it is if we've overpopulated an area and then we go through a cycle of drought and we're not putting enough rainwater back into the system to keep everything up, then it could become a problem.
Yeah, I see that because we haven't had rain for weeks. I'm actually waiting on this rain. I'm like, come on.
Well, the good
man.
thing is, see, now these rivers start in the other states as well.
Right.
So they're getting rain up north that filters into that same system. So we're in a good place.
So
but
the rivers
we
are
had
bringing it
about,
down.
I think it was 20 years ago, where there was droughts, dry weather
Oh, yeah.
up the whole coast,
Yeah.
and we had some problems. Where I come from in Pasco County, there was people that had a lake, and they sold the property as lakefront property. People bought nice homes on it, little, piers for their little boats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And during the drought, that lake completely disappeared and has never come back.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened in California when the whole skateboard thing and skating in those pools came into effect.
Yeah.
The skate parks came out of that, I'm guessing. But yeah, when the droughts came, they weren't allowed to use the water, so they had to empty their pools out. And when they did that, they used them to
Having fun with
skateboard.
that.
Yeah.
Before-
Anyway, you said Kevin.
Yes.
Angel, yeah.
Angel.
So it was nice talking with you.
Nice speaking with
and
you,
how
Jen.
long do you think this is going to continue for?
A couple months.
Yeah.
month and a half to 2 months. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And then,
Did you see down by the Civic Center where it's all the rocks came out? You know.
yeah,
So
yeah, I've walked the beach. Yeah.
yeah. So that's totally changed too.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. And those rocks, if they're existing naturally, they're not supposed to be exposed like that.
Right.
If they
Right.
were put there to help control the beach by the hotel, which
Yeah.
I believe they were, that also helps control the erosion.
I was kind of concerned about the Civic Center maybe having the limestone situation underneath it because I'm like, something ain't right here. Like
The
this is.
chances of sinkholes this close to the ocean are decreased because you have a natural water table regardless. So whatever the sea level is, that's pretty much your standard water table. So if you go over here and start digging a pit,
Right.
once you reach sea level, that pit will have water in it.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
that's a natural thing. So with that, you're so close, and that water table extends so far in, the likelihood of having a sinkhole in this area are very, very, very slim.
So it would just create another water table somewhere.
The water table would seep into that area. So as it dissipated, because you have the ocean here, it's going to naturally go that way.
Right.
So if you're further inland, and then that water table is separated through limestone and natural earth because of the distance, and it's relying mostly on that aquifer. Once that aquifer drops so much, that's when you can get a sinkhole.
Interesting. Interesting. And the ones that are happening in Daytona Beach, where the houses basically went into the ocean, that was just erosion from the
A lot of storms, and then there's a
the storms
construction
coming in.
when they were built sometimes. So nowadays you have to drive piles down deep into the ground. So concrete, steel, something like that, but very long, and you'll drive that into the ground as the footers for the foundation to help stabilize it.
Right.
And then that way, even if you did have erosion because it couldn't be addressed in a timely fashion, your house would not fall over. But back when they were doing these things, we didn't understand these construction techniques. They weren't part of the code, and they are now. Florida has probably one of the best building codes in the whole United States. And
Yeah.
that's why we have these major storms. And when you'll notice is when you start hearing about the damages and the extent of the damages, what you'll find out is that these are the older established areas. So these places that are under new construction and met the hurricane standards, they get whacked too, but nobody discusses that because they didn't
Right.
fall down.
Yeah.
So it's these buildings that were built in the 50s or 60s that were not designed to, take a hurricane force.
Yeah, because those buildings in Miami coming down, in Pompano, they had to take people out of the hotel in the middle
Yeah.
of the night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, where do we stand on that? You
Yeah.
know, what? And this is pretty new. I mean, I don't think that's that old, that building.
Then more than likely, if it's fairly new, then it would have the newer design. So it's kind of
well,
like the
not
iceberg.
new, but definitely 30 years old.
30 years, yeah. I might be cutting it. I'm not familiar with all the buildings.
I'm not sure how old that building is, but I think it's been here a long time. And not as long as my complex was built in the 60s
Yeah, yeah.
where I live.
Yeah.
So that's old school, Florida. And I've been noticing these holes on my property, and I called the town, and they said that's because it's like a complex,
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people living in there, and there's there'd be a lake over there. Let's say the lake is close to where the ocean is, and then all of a sudden, straight down from where the lake is, big, huge concrete breakage, and everything sinking in. And then follow that line, and then there's more big, huge concrete. So I'm like, those are sinkholes. They're not normal. They weren't here. I've been there for 20-something years. So, and I'm concerned about those things, And I'm like, I know Florida. I love Florida, but these things are getting closer and closer. So with this here, I was wondering too, like, what does that have to do with it? You know, I knew they were bringing sand. I always thought they were bringing sand from the Bahamas for some reason.
No.
But I'm going to go film this, Kevin, and you are outstanding.
Thank
you for all your information, and I'm glad you're on this project.
Thank you.
Have a
You
great
take care of
day.
yourself.
That was so cool. So, yeah, thank you, universe, for sending Kevin to give me all that information. What a nice person. Now we got potato chip wrappers in here. All right. And here's the dredging. 92 feet. That's pretty accurate. No dogs here, huh? Rip currents are present. And swim close to shore. Oh, maybe this is what he was talking about. Let me see. So they're bringing it from that side where the boats go in and out, right there, by the jetty. And they're going underneath everything, I guess, he said. I would just go over it. Maybe it is going over it. I can't see that. And then it comes out here. And then it shoots the sand all the way down the beach. And it comes out over there. So that's basically what we were looking at, where it was coming out of. Wow! Let me follow this down this way. So it comes down there. Oh, this just got buried. The sand buried it over time. That's been here. I bet the pier is going to have some beautiful, like, you know, sky shots, cloud shots, just before the rain. So thanks. What is this? Okay, let's do this here. I'll take a picture of it, so that's the pink sign. One, two, boom. I'll just use that as the thing. It's interesting, because I'm like, dude, this is not normal, you know? I look at, like, I had never seen the ocean like that in front of the Civic Center. And it's not like I'm up there every day, but I mean, I've been going there for years. And it's just interesting to find out. I'm like, I'm telling these little kids today, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I'd be digging over here because... Bye, Kevin! Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I'd be digging over here, man. There were some sinkholes. And, you know, and then that one right there by 18 across from Loggerhead, I'm like, dude, that, I don't know, that just doesn't seem right either. So I just like to know what's going on, you know? I'm excited about finally getting some rain. It hasn't rained here in forever. Someone said it rained by their house last week, and it didn't rain by my house. All right, have fun. Big love. Woo! There's a sun and a peace sign. I like that.